Why did God give me this life? Sometimes I'll go.
One lack of foresight years ago to know what Brooklyn could become.
Do you think that there is actual cloning going on?
We know that there's actual cloning going on. The question I believe you're asking is human cloning.
Oh, yes, sir.
But let's start with the real question. The real question is cloning going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so either times is getting really hard for Beyonce here, or this photo just proved that they are really cloning celebrities.
So now people are really side-eyeing this whole situation because rumors about Beyonce being a clone are blowing up again. And this time it's tied to claims that Kanye West dropped some shocking details about why it supposedly happened. And yeah, the story sounds wild and unsettling. For years, there's been talk online that Beyonce was being tightly controlled by Jay-Z, and at first most people brushed it off like pure conspiracy talk, nothing serious. But now some receipts are being pushed around that fans say make the whole thing look a little less random and a lot more calculated, with whispers about powerful industry figures watching her every move because she brings in huge money. And it doesn't stop there, because an industry insider allegedly came forward back in 2016 claiming that Beyonce had been replaced sometime in the early 2000s, saying the version people see today is a manufactured clone called Baby B. The person behind this claim, Stephen J., went on a long Facebook rant, saying he witnessed strange things while working in Hollywood, and his statements still have people talking to this day. Thomas took things even further by posting side-by-side photos, one showing Beyonce from the early 2000s and the other showing her today, and the caption instantly got people talking. He wrote, "The chick on the left is her, but the chick on the right is not this high-degree masonry witch. On the right is a clone." And that statement alone had the internet going wild. He didn't stop there either, because he went on to claim that record label executives secretly collected her stem cells early in her career, setting everything up behind the scenes while she was still rising to fame. According to him, once she started making moves to go solo, they allegedly replaced her and created a clone to keep the Beyonce brand making money non-stop. And if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, he even pointed people toward explanations of how this so-called cloning process works, mentioning a clip of Cat Williams where he supposedly breaks it all down in detail, adding even more fuel to the conversation.
We know that there's actual cloning going on. The question I believe you're asking is human cloning.
Oh, yes, sir.
But let's start with the real question. The real question is cloning going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I knew it.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, let's just say animal cloning.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Let's start there. That's not a myth or...
No, that's been known.
That's not a conspiracy theory that we are at the point where we have no problem cloning animals. If you lose a pet, you can send away to these companies and they will...
They'll remix that, send it back.
Right.
Yeah.
At as close a proximity as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, circling back to Beyonce, there have also been long-running rumors claiming that even before any of these cloning stories popped up, she was already being heavily controlled by Jay-Z, and people online have been debating this for years. A lot of that talk started when allegations surfaced that their relationship began when she was still under 18 while he was much older, which immediately raised eyebrows and had people questioning the timeline. Word going around was that her family didn't even realize how serious things were at first. And by the time it became clear, Beyonce was already deeply involved and emotionally invested in the relationship. Growing up, Beyonce was said to be extremely focused on her career, with very little time for a typical social life. So some people believe that made her more vulnerable in relationships early on. Aside from a reported high school boyfriend, Jay-Z was seen by many as her first major relationship, which added even more attention to how everything unfolded. There are also claims from someone described as a former bodyguard, Uncle Ron, who allegedly spoke out before his passing, suggesting that Jay-Z maintained a strong level of influence over her. But these statements remain unverified and continue to spark debate online.
Yeah, Beyonce's on. She's been on them for a long time. And you keep her that way.
Just when people thought the situation couldn't get any messier, a now-deleted interview from the blog Media Takeout started going viral, and the claims in it had everyone talking. In that interview, someone described as Beyoncé's former assistant made serious allegations, claiming that Jay-Z used physical intimidation as a way to maintain control over her. And remember all that talk about Beyoncé being treated like a cash cow? Well, this same ex-assistant didn't hold back and added even more to the story. They claimed there had been ongoing issues with boundaries, saying they had witnessed moments that didn't sit right at all. Now, I've never seen him just flat out strike B, but too many times have I seen him shove and push her, they said, which instantly raised concern among readers. At first, the assistant claimed they thought it was harmless behavior between the two, something playful maybe, but that perception quickly changed. They described a moment in Saint-Tropez where Beyoncé appeared visibly uncomfortable and embarrassed, making it clear that the situation was much more serious than it looked on the surface. The assistant went even further, saying he treats Beyoncé like she's an object and not a person, and claims she felt overwhelmed by constant control, pressure, and a team of handlers making decisions for her. According to them, there was real fear that she might one day walk away without warning, and that possibility alone had everyone on edge. They're reportedly terrified of losing what they see as their biggest moneymaker, and that fear is what's driving all this tension behind the scenes. According to these claims, she's been kept on a tight leash for years, but now things are starting to shift, and it looks like she might not stay quiet much longer. There's talk that she's beginning to push back, questioning where her money is going, and even demanding a full audit of her finances, which has people raising their eyebrows. The narrative being pushed is that she's exhausted on every level, mentally, physically, and emotionally, after spending decades constantly working without a real break. The story goes that she doesn't want this lifestyle anymore and just wants the chance to slow down and actually live life on her own terms, but those around her aren't ready to let that happen. There are also claims that her finances don't seem to add up the way they should, leaving her feeling stuck and worried about being trapped in a cycle she can't escape. And just when it already sounds intense, things take another turn, because now Kanye is being brought into the mix again. He's been openly talking about celebrities being controlled like robots by powerful figures, and Beyoncé is one of the names he's reportedly mentioned, adding even more heat to the conversation.
Control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Now here's the wild part. This wasn't even the first time Kanye made claims like this, and that's why people keep bringing it back up. As far back as 2015, he was already hinting that celebrities might be controlled or even replaced, especially when he went on a rant about people calling entertainers part of the Illuminati. According to Kanye, celebrities aren't the ones running anything at all. In his view, they're just the public faces being used by powerful figures behind the scenes. He argued that these higher-ups push whatever message they want through celebrities, and if someone steps out of line or can't be controlled anymore, that's when they supposedly get replaced to keep everything running smoothly. He even said, celebrities who gave their life to music and who are pinpointed as decoys for people who really run the world. I'm tired of people pinpointing musicians as the Illuminati. That's ridiculous. We don't run anything. We're celebrities. We're the face of brands. We have to compromise what we say in lyrics so we don't lose money on a contract. And that statement had people seriously thinking. And to be fair, Kanye has pointed to his own experiences as proof that things can go left when artists push back against the system. Now, while he faced major backlash for offensive comments he made, and rightfully so, he's also claimed that the situation went deeper than just public criticism, especially when he stopped following industry expectations. Kanye even claimed things got so serious that there were attempts to have him placed in a facility where he believed they would heavily medicate him and possibly replace him with a version that could be controlled more easily. And that idea alone had people stunned. He pointed to a disturbing text message he leaked, allegedly from someone he described as an industry handler, laying out what could happen if he didn't fall in line and follow instructions. The message read, "I'm going to help you in one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use curse words, and everything that is discussed is based on fact and not some crazy stuff that a dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever." And that wording immediately raised alarms. It didn't stop there either, because the message added, "Play date with the kids just won't be the same," which many people saw as a chilling line that took things to another level entirely. Whether people believe his claims or not, that leak sparked intense reactions and added even more fuel to the ongoing debate about control in the entertainment industry.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah. So look at what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now. You can see there's not much of her.
And with all of that being said, the internet didn't stay quiet for long, because people immediately started connecting all these claims together and building even bigger theories around what's really going on behind closed doors. Some are convinced there's a pattern, pointing at different celebrities who've spoken out or suddenly changed and saying it can't all just be coincidence. Others, though, are calling all of this out as straight-up conspiracy talk, arguing that there's no real proof behind these stories and that a lot of it comes from rumors, misinterpretations, and viral moments taken out of context. Still, that hasn't stopped the conversations from spreading like wildfire across social media, with clips, interviews, and old statements getting dug up and analyzed all over again. What really keeps people hooked is how many big names keep getting mentioned in these discussions, from Beyonce to Kanye and beyond, making it feel bigger than just one situation. Whether it's just online speculation, one thing is clear. People are watching closely, questioning everything, and not letting these stories fade away anytime soon. And it gets even more intense because Beyonce isn't the only name people keep bringing up in these conversations. Other celebrities like Jim Carrey, Gucci Mane, Dave Chappelle, and even Jamie Foxx have all been dragged into similar rumors, with fans claiming they started acting different or going against things they once stood on. And that's what really keeps these theories alive. Now, when it comes to Beyonce specifically, there isn't any solid proof that she's actually been cloned outside of what people online are saying and what Kanye has hinted at, but that hasn't slowed anything down at all. People have been running with this nonstop ever since it hit the internet, breaking down every little detail and moment like it's part of a bigger puzzle. Some comments are straight up wild too, with one person saying, the real Beyonce has been gone for like 10 years. She's been erased and replaced, while another said, since Crazy in Love, I have not recognized her. I kept saying, who is that? Cause it ain't Bey, and those takes just keep spreading everywhere. But now I want to hear from you. Do you actually believe Kanye's claims about Beyonce being cloned? Or do you think this is all just internet speculation getting out of control? And do you think any of this ties into control over money and power? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you on the next one.